Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the class BMN 612-612 seminar on South and Southeast Buddhism. This is our second week. Today's date is April 12, 2021. Being the second week, today on we start our journey proper. Last week, we just got an introduction about the syllabus and what is expected of you and what will be the outcomes of this class. And I saw some of you have done your homework. I received them and thank you. As I told you from the very beginning, you have to keep up with your homework in order to get the attendance as well as 40% of your marks, your gradings. So please follow the instructions as given. And if you have any questions, of course, please feel free to contact me. I still don't know how many of you are in the class. Probably I might get the info today or this week. And then we can see how we can proceed. So you have an idea about what we are going to, what we are concerned in this class, our focus on this class. First we look at the origin of Buddhism in India and the spread. I know in some of your classes, I remember I have discussed these matters, discussed these things in detail, and you have read certain things and you have a rough idea about the origin and the development of Buddhism in India. But still, last week I gave you the assignment, the homework, to read the text that I attached to the email. That is a chapter from a book, textbook. And even for this week, we use that same text. So when you when you submit your homework, don't just cut and paste from internet something and don't attach it. If it is not relevant to the question, if it is not relevant to what I am asking you to do, then how come I can take it, right? So be careful, because I have seen people doing that thing. They just cut and paste something from internet and submit it to me, and you think you can get your attendance and marks. No, I will not follow that thing here. If it is not relevant to the question asked, if it is not related with the homework that I'm asking you to do, I will not take it as your submission. I consider you did not submit. That means you lose your attendance as well as the marks. Otherwise, I see most of you just Google and cut something on the internet and paste it to Word and submit. Is that easy? So no, don't do that. Try to read or at least listen to the lecture, and then out of the listening and out of the text, out of the whatever the text that I prescribe, you have to get the answer, not from anywhere else. Anywhere else information might be helpful, but then you have to write it in your own words. Otherwise, you are cheating and you are asking me to cheat. It's okay for you to cheat, but don't ask me to cheat. So please be careful when you are doing your homework. Okay, today's lecture is on the Buddha and the origin of Buddhism and its development in India. I know this topic has been discussed in many other classes, but still here, the way that we are proceeding in this class, we are focusing on how Buddhism got established in India during the time of the Buddha, and what forces were helpful for the Buddha to spread his teaching, spread his message in India, and how it got developed during the early centuries of its history. I hope you understand what I mean. So in this class, we are focusing on, if you may remember, the last week I sent you an attachment, the text. So please focus on that text, especially from the page 20 onwards in the text that I sent you last week. Page 20, in the middle, you find the mission of the Buddha, subheading. A mission of the Buddha. What was Buddha's mission? And it goes on talking about the early formation of the Sangha, or early formation of the Sangha, and how it expanded and what forces came into support the spread of Buddhism. So we are focusing on that area because our class, this class is, we are talking about the spread of Buddhism to South and Southeast Asia. So before we talk about the other countries, we have to look at how the message of the Buddha became popular among Indians to begin with. So, you know, when we talk about the Buddha's life story, beginning, you know already, and then he spent 6 years with 5 companions with him, and he spent 6 years in search of truth. During that 6 years, after the renunciation, after renouncing the family life, he was an ascetic. You know the word ascetic. Ascetic is like a person who is giving hardships to his body. In terms of giving hardship to his body, he is looking for something valuable. In that sense, he was looking for truth. So during the time of the Buddha, most of the other religion, the practitioners of other religions, they believe that if you give a lot of pain to your body, if you follow strict asceticism, you will be able to find some lasting solution for your problems, or whatever the noble truth could be achieved only through giving pains and suffering to your body. So following that tradition, Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, before he attained enlightenment, he spent 6 years, 6 long years, giving pain and suffering to his body. He was looking for enlightenment, truth, awakening, whatever the word you want to use. So during that 6 years, he underwent certain difficulties in his life, because when you don't eat, when you do not have enough nutrition, you become weak. So during that time, Buddha became so weak, and only his skeleton was seen, just the skeleton, bones, no muscles, no enough strength for him to survive. Until up until that such time, he was to such an extent he was giving pain, suffering to his body. But during that time, he had 5 companions with him, 5, let's say, friends with him, following the same path. They were also doing the same thing, giving harm, suffering to their body, and trying to find awakening or enlightenment. After 6 years, the Buddha decided, oh, this is not the way to find salvation. This is not the correct path for me to achieve enlightenment. And then what he did was he changed his lifestyle. The lifestyle was not eating and not having enough nutrition, giving pain, and all kinds of austerities. They are called austerities. Different ways of different practices of harming your body. And he decided, oh, this is not the path. If I follow this path, this is one of the extremes. Because in the palace, in his home, he was following the other extreme, the other end, giving excessive luxuries, giving excessive comfort to his body. And now he moved on to the other end. For 6 years, he was following the other extreme, which is giving excessive harm, pain to his body. So he now discovered these 2 paths. What are the paths? Giving excessive pain and giving excessive comfort to body. These 2 ends will not give you the solution for the problem. Those 2 paths will not produce enlightenment or awakening. Then what the next option was to come to a middle point. So he decided, okay, now I'm not going to do this anymore. I will follow the middle path. I will come to the middle. That means not giving excessive pain to the body or not giving excessive luxuries, comfort to the body. Let's take it in the middle. So he was following the middle path. And after that, he came to that decision. He started having food, little bit food, and not excessive food, just little bit food, and just a normal lifestyle. And then he was able to realize the attainment or the enlightenment when he was following that path. Don't take it as just eating the food little bit, you can attain enlightenment. That is not the idea. His whole lifestyle changed, his whole vision, his whole idea about salvation or idea about nirvana changed. And he was looking at things moderately. Moderation is the good word. He was looking at things moderately. And then he was able to attain the enlightenment. That is how the story goes. And then after, what happened was, those 5 companions who helped him during the time of his, what do you call, the period of suffering, if you want to use the word, during his excessive austerities, when giving pain to his body, the 5 companions, they thought, oh, our leader, he has given up the austerities. So why should we keep company with him? Let's break with him. He is not following the austerities anymore. Now he is seeking luxuries. He is seeking comfort. we will not support him anymore, and we break up with Siddhartha. And then they went away from Siddhartha. But Buddha, we call Siddhartha at that time, and he by himself practicing the middle path was able to attain the enlightenment. And after attaining the enlightenment, the Buddha wanted to share his experience with others. He wanted to share his new understanding, new knowledge with the others. And he was looking for the people who he can have conversation, a discussion about his experience. And finally, he decided to go back to where those companions were, 5 companions were. And if you read the book, I'm not going to elaborate on that thing. He went to Benares, Benares or Varanasi today. In that area, the 5 ascetics, they call 5 ascetics, 5 companions were living together. And the Buddha went to them. In the text, if you read, you may be able to find the story. When the Buddha came, when the Buddha was approaching, the 5 ascetics, 5 disciples or 5 companions, they thought, oh, now he is coming after following the, after discarding our path. He was trying to find out something else, but he was unable to do so. And now he is coming back in search of us. We will not take him back. We will not help him. We will not support him. They were having a discussion like that. But when the Buddha nears, when the Buddha comes closer to them, they were not able to keep their agreement. That's how the text says. So they started to support him, to help him, to welcome him, all kinds of paying respect and all that. And then it is said that the Buddha was able to share his experience with them. That is called the first sermon, or the first teaching of the Buddha was given to these 5 ascetics. So as time went by, they were able to attain salvation, attain enlightenment or nirvana, because Buddha explained them, this is the path for you to follow if you want to attain nirvana. And by following, they were able to do so because they were actually practicing certain things for a long time, and they were able to grasp what the Buddha was saying. So they were able to become, the word is arahant. Arahant means enlightened disciples of the Buddha. So they also became enlightened, the 5 of them. So now only 6, along with the Buddha, there were only 6 arahants in the world. That is how the text says. In all India, only 6 people were enlightened along with the Buddha. And as time went on, this they call Sangha, right? Sangha is the community of monks, the disciples. So it expanded, it got spread little by little. If you read the text, a young man called, a wealthy young man called Yasa, he and his family, his father, mother, his wife, all little by little, they became friends with the Buddha. And after following his path, they were also able to be free from suffering. And it is called that in Buddhism, even today, you have to go for refuge. You know the word refuge, R-E-F-U-G-E. Refuge is that you go for protection. You go for shelter. So in Buddhism, usually Buddha, Dhamma means his teaching, Sangha, community of monks and nuns. All these three things together is called three refuge. When you want to attain nirvana, or when you want to be free from samsara, when you want to be free from suffering, the very first thing that you need to do is to seek refuge in this triple gem. It's called triple gem. It's usually taken as gem or jewel. So three jewels or three gems, usually called three refuge: Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. So Buddha as the teacher, Dhamma as the teaching, Sangha as the practitioners of the teaching. See, it is logically connected. Teacher, teaching, and the practitioners, so the followers, so the disciples. So you have to have a refuge in these three. Taking refuge is the start of the journey, start of the path. So this Yasa and his family, 4 people, right? They took refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha, in the triple gem, in the 3 jewels. I'm using these words so that you become familiar with these things. And after receiving, after going refuge in the triple gem, they were following the path and they were able to be free from suffering. And then after listening to this, after getting this message, it is said in the text that there were 54 friends of this family, 54 friends of Yasa or that family, young people. They also became, they also wanted to see what this message is, what happened to their friends, why they changed so much by listening to these things and practicing. And these 54 group, 54 is a big number, 54 people, 54 friends of the family also came to the Buddha and listened to him, took refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha, triple gem, and then they were following and were able to be free from suffering. Now, this is how this tradition expanded. In the process of expansion, little by little, the group became bigger. So now there are 54 friends of Yasa, and then the 5 ascetics, 5 disciples, early disciples, and for 54 plus 5, 59, and the Buddha was there, and Yasa is there. So there are 60. Yasa and Yasa's 54 friends, and the 5 ascetics. Yasa's mother, father, and wife, they did not attain enlightenment, but they became disciples, followers of the Buddha. So but they did not give up their family life. So they were following Buddhism as lay people. But the 54 friends, they gave up their family life, and they became, they got ordained monks. And of course, the 5 ascetics and the Yasa, there were 60 altogether. And when these 60, they are called Arahants, right? Enlightened disciples of the Buddha. When these 60 people, 60 Arahants got together, the Buddha gave them the command, if you want to use the word command. he commanded them, now you are free from suffering. Now your task, your duty is to share your experience with the others. Share your experience with the others. How are you going to share it? 60 of you should now travel everywhere. Everywhere you can go. For what? For the benefit of the many. For the benefit of the many, please spread these teachings to wherever you go, whoever who happen to meet to you. Talk to them and spread my message. This is how this thing started. And he said, don't, the two monks, two arahants, don't go on the same path. Why? Because limited number of people, only 60 people. So if two of you go on one path, lack of resources, right? So each one has to go on his own path, in his own way, and then teach these teachings to the people so that they also can be free from their sufferings. And that's how all these things happen. So I'm focusing on this thing. In the text, of course, you see this story here. That is how Buddhism started to spread. And the Buddha himself, he started his journey, traveling all over India, wherever he was able to, by sharing his teaching with the others. Nowadays, of course, we have many other media and all kinds of things, but at that time, only through discussion, only through teaching, that his message was able to transmit to the others. So this is how it started. So Sangha, those 60 Arahant, they are called Sangha, right? Sangha, followers of the Buddha. Sangha, establishment of Sangha is very important in Buddhism, because these are the people who gave up their family lives. They are celibate. They did not have family. They only have to take care of their body, no other needs. They only needed the minimum sustenance, minimum requirements for them to live, a place to live, a roof, and then medicine, food, and something to wear. These 4 requisites. And they were traveling all over. They did not belong, they did not have any other thing. Just the bowl to beg for food and some clothes and somewhere to rest, sleep, maybe under a tree or any other shelter, and medicinal something during the time they had some kind of medicine. So if they are sick, they needed that medicine. That's all they were having. And because of this, their dedication, the monks, disciples' dedication, Buddhism, the teachings of the Buddha began expanding in India, all over India. They went in different directions. As the Buddha advised them, don't go too in one direction, because we have limited resources. Please use the maximum available capacity or resources so that you can reach more people. That was his original advice for the disciples. So the establishment of the Sangha and their dedication was very helpful at the beginning to disseminate this message to the general public. And Buddha himself, he did not stop at that point. He was also able to reach many people, many in India. He was traveling. First, of course, he went back to his own kingdom, where his father and stepmother, his wife, his son, he went to meet them, and he was able to convert them to whatever the teaching that he were giving at that time. So Buddha, as a person, he had a very big charisma. You know the word charisma. He is a charismatic figure. So whenever he teaches something, very clear, logical, and those qualities. And of course, he is coming from a royal family. So people would like to listen to him because he had connection with many kings and noble men. So different, the kings and wealthy men, young people, they were happy to be friends with the Buddha because this is such a charismatic figure. And that helped him to reach many. And at the same time, even though he is such a big, in today's word, we use the big, big figure, he did not forget the general people. General in the sense that those days, untouchables. There was divisions in the society, caste system, and the women did not have rights. So Buddha focused on those things. He rejected the caste system. And also he said women in the society should receive the same status like men. We are talking about the 6th century BCE, before the Common Era, before Christ. At that time, Buddha said women should also have the same equal status like men. And then following that teaching, he opened the door for women to become nuns. Just like monks, he opened the door for women to become nuns, followers of the Buddha. So this is a very big step, revolution actually. Even today, we are living in one of the advanced societies, but only last century, I think, not long ago, that women were able to vote, right? Women got the voting rights to vote, maybe 100 years ago, even less than 100 years ago. So think about in that manner. So the Buddha, he gave a prominent place for women and the lower caste people. Lower caste people were, their life was miserable because they were not recognized by the higher, so-called higher caste people. They did not have education. They were not able to educate themselves, and no human rights actually. So Buddha said, no, that is wrong. We all are human beings. So why don't we have same rights for all? So these things attracted many towards Buddhism. His royal association, coming from the royal family, and his charismatic figure, and his teaching, the flexibility of his teaching, logical teaching, and the way they practice. He practiced what he taught. So these things became so attractive to the general public. So wealthy people, actually, they thought, oh, we have a path now. We have luxuries in our life, but we do not have happiness. And then they decided to come and listen to the Buddha. And after they became Sangha, members of the Sangha, or some people, they became the followers of the Buddha. So there's a two division. Sangha members, if you become a monk or nun, then you belong to the Sangha community. And if you become a follower, lay follower, male or female, so you become upasaka or upasika, or you are providing support to the Sangha, helping the support to the Sangha, helping for the spread of Buddhism. And also you are following the path, but not as the Sangha, those who gave up their family life and dedicate their full time. They are full time and the others are part time. So in this way, Buddhism got established in the Indian society, and it spread every corner, everywhere, as time went by. So during the time of the Buddha, so you know, he spent, after attaining enlightenment, he spent 45 long years. His mission, his ministry was 45 long years. So during that period, Buddhism became a lifestyle, a big force in India. And later, of course, it became it spread into different other parts. And in this class, that's what we are discussing. So in India, during the time of the Buddha, to a great extent, with the help of the new Sangha members, I'm using the word Sangha members, monks and nuns, we would call the followers of the Buddha. Buddhism became a popular trend, popular tradition in India. And that is the end of the lecture today. So please read from the page 20 onwards. Yes, 20 to at least 28. 20 to 28, page 20 to 28. Please read it, and I will give you the homework. You will get it in mail. Please answer the question, discuss the things that you listen in the lecture. And don't, as I told you, don't cut and paste different things. I'm asking you to do something and you are cutting and pasting something else, which is irrelevant. So if you do like that, you will not get the marks, as well as you lose your attendance. It's not fair, right? So try not to do that. And I will help you. If you have any question, just ask me, email me, I will help you. So then that's it for today. Hope you will enjoy the lesson. Please do homework and submit it to me. As I told you, submit it in Word document, as a Word document with your name. Otherwise, I don't know who this is. So do that, please. Thank you very much. Have a nice week.